Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 story, The Head Coach, with me, Daniel. We're back today for part 76 and we have got a little bit of an interesting doubleheader. Firstly, we're playing Flora, the Estonian side in Europa Conference. It should be an absolute battering, but it gives you the chance to see some of our backup players and maybe even some of our youngsters from the youth sides in action. And then we host Crystal Palace. Our former club made a slow start without us as we swapped managerial roles with Niko Kovac, but they're on the rise now and they're pushing back for the European places. You can see we've had a brilliant start. We're picking up results. Even when we're resting players, we're managing to nick over the line. And so far, it's been a bit of a dream start here. The bank balance is looking awful at United, but we're not in control of that. Our job is to bring glory, and that's what I'm hoping we're going to be able to do. So if you're looking forward to finding out how we get on and whether we can pick up another 2 wins, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content from 2 long-term stories. You can find the other one, the Hemel Hempstead story, the latest season up in the eye above, as well as the new Review the 92 episode, the FM Insight playlist, the football podcast, and the Twitch channel. We've got an FA Cup watch along on Twitch tonight, so come and join us there if you're able to. But a massive thank you as always for your incredible support as we get going with Manchester United in the Europa Conference. We've been absolutely flying in that competition and everything in truth. If I show you the schedule since you were last with me, we are still unbeaten as Manchester United manager. And you might just think it's us, but there's been some ridiculous results in the Premier League and in all competitions this year. I will say the results are getting a bit closer. Since you were last with me in the league, we've had a couple of close scares, but again, we've beaten some of the top sides in the division, and I'm starting to think that Niko Kovac was the biggest underachiever the world's ever seen. Because at the moment, we're making this look a bit easy. The Europa Conference isn't competitive. We won 8-0 against Legia Warsaw. Rashford got a hat-trick. Then Agumbi, Jaloka, Voloshin, Thompson and Bordenelli scored. A 2-1 victory against Liverpool. Bruno Fernandes with an absolute perler late on after Kylian Mbappe's lead had been cancelled out. A 3-0 win at home to Southampton. 2 for Fernandes, including a penalty. I've just realised in this year's FM, fair play to them. They've made it realistic. If you're United, you're getting penalties, trust me. Bassone scored a header there too. A 10-1 win at today's opponent's Flora. I don't know how much weaker we can make it in truth. Bordenelli got 1 to Zolis 2. Rashford a hat-trick. Own goal. Thompson 2 off the bench. And then 1 for Voloshin as well. A 3-2 victory at Chelsea. A 58th minute goal from Emmanuel Yakubu. Enough to wrap it up. We did get a late scare in that game though. Mbappe and of course the Fernandes penalty had got us ahead. Then, maybe the best result of the last few games. We played Manchester City in the Carabao Cup 4th round, rested the whole team again, edged Fofana back in for fitness and the likes, and we won on penalties. A hat-trick from Marcus Rashford. They went stronger than us. They played Haaland. They played Obispo, their front two. And we still managed to get the victory. Really pleased with that. We scored all of our pens. And Ruben Diaz had his save by Dahlberg, our number 2 keeper. A 3-0 win followed at Watford. Really comfortable this one. Mbappe, Inacio and Yakubu with the goals. So now we've got what should be a relatively comfortable home game in the Europa Conference where we can play whatever team we want and win. And then we've got the big one. The reunion with our former club Palace, who their manager got manager of the month last season. They're starting to pick up now. In the Premier League, you can see they're flying. They're a bit of a mixed bag in the Champions League, but they've got a tough group. And with the games coming up now, you would expect it to be make or break time for them too. So, not the same struggle for us in Europe. If we have a look at the competition screen, we've got 9 points and a plus 22 goal difference. A win here takes us through with 2 to spare, and as group winners probably as well. We've got Derby away, a championship side, the team we're managing on Twitch in the Carabao Cup quarter-final. So, hopefully we can get through there. And I'm looking at it now and thinking, could we maybe wrap up a double or a treble? I know it depends on the draw, but we've knocked some of the best sides in the country out in the League Cup. The FA Cup is luck of the draw again. And the Europa Conference, unless some very big teams come out of the Europa League, I don't see who stops us. So it all boils down to this Premier League, which will be the priority for now. But let's go and get into our first game. Europa Conference action to start with. We're going to make wholesale changes. We're going to be as weak as possible. I'll see you in a minute to run through the 11. Okay then, a couple of changes from our normal Europa Conference side. The reason for that is that Tzolis is now going to take over from Sancho on the left wing. He's been disappointing recently and is asking to leave. We've got Johnny asking to leave the club in January, transfer listed by request. So Agumbi will start in centre midfield instead. And because I want to give the youngsters a go, Bordenelli and Erdogan will play in the back four. Ben White will sit on the bench. Fofana's going to play about an hour or so just to continue his comeback, as he has the last 1 or 2 cup games. We've got a couple of youngsters on the bench. So just to introduce Fraser McIntyre, 20-year-old Scottish number 10, 2-star ability, 3.5 potential. Looks a very solid player, so we'll try and get him some action. He's coming in 1 game, I think, already. He has. And he got a 7.5 there, but we're so dominant, you would be surprised if they didn't. And then on the bench also is Gaffarao Diallo. He's a 19-year-old Englishman, can play anywhere through the centre of the pitch. And again, has made 1 sub-appearance already. I'd imagine we'll make a few more now. So our 11 for today, very rotated. Dahlberg in goal, Frimpong and Erdogan the fullbacks. Erdogan not really improving as we'd hoped just yet. Fofana and Bordenelli central defence. Jaloka and Agumbi in the middle. Jaloka almost there as a centre mid, and hopefully he'll be able to take over in January from Hannibal. We've got Thompson, Shirky and Voloshin the attacking midfield 3, and Rashford up front has scored 10 goals in 4 games in this competition. So let's see if he can add to it today. I've got no doubts he'll be the top scorer this season. The full 11 changes are in for us from the final Premier League game we played off camera. We're going to tell the lads to prove a point. I would expect this to come close to double figures again. Maybe a few different players might just make it a bit more difficult, but to be honest, I think we'll absolutely pace them. Well, here we are, 6 minutes gone, and Timmer's got a throw on the left. Erdogan to Shirky, to Voloshin, into the box unopposed, block back to Rashford and Thompson. Good goalkeeping actually to keep that out. Deserves praise, because that could have easily been 1-0. But dominant early doors. Can we get the early goal? Can we build the confidence? And that maybe has contributed to our unbeaten run this year. The fact that we've had such confidence from this competition. The absolute batterings as Rashford puts us in. But VAR will check it. Not sure if it will be given. I'd imagine it probably will. Let's see if it's awarded. It is. 1-0 Manchester United. Same old story. And to be fair, Rashford might be the best backup striker in the world in this game, as Davidov flicks on, but Bordenelli wins it to Timur Erdogan and Agumbi. I think it shows you just what a failure it was for Niko Kovac to end up getting this United side in this competition. We've broken the attendance record in the competition twice. We're expecting over 70,000 here again, as Rashford's down in the box. That will definitely be a penalty. The competition isn't made for clubs like Manchester United. It's made to give sides from a middle ground nation the opportunity to go on a run, or middle ground sides from the top nations. And here, we're just a world superpower, and it's almost unfair on the teams we're playing. It's a competition I love, but it's not working here. That the goalkeeper for Flora is covering himself in glory because he's just saved the Rashford penalty. It was a good spot kick too. Wonderful goalkeeping down to his right as Jaloka switches it to Voloshin. Picks the ball up on the left-hand side. Agumbi cuts inside with it though. Finds Jaloka. Got space on the ball. Can go out to the right if he needs to. Instead goes alone into the box. To the byline he reaches. Cuts it in. Robbie Thompson shot blocked. Still only 1, but with 17 gone. You can see how much we're dominating these games. How many attacks we have. And how dominant we are from set pieces. Though Bordenelli's lost out there. We have lost a bit of that height in the middle by putting the left back in. Though Erdogan gets the ball on the left wing. Cleared away by Davidov. Or is it? Thompson presses him. It's Koof downfield. And Tan holds the ball up. 20 gone. We're not getting a breather. Bordenelli goes left to Voloshin. Pretty sure Bordenelli's left-footed, but he took that with his right, and I don't really know why. As Jaloka finds Agumbi up to Thompson. Got electric pace, the Scottish man, in towards Rashford and Voloshin. To the side net and it goes. Flora hang on, still just 1. But we're back just 2 minutes later as it's a big ball downfield which Jaloka wins the head up for Timur Erdogan. Space to run into down the left back area. Not doing bad, the youngster, but gives away possession there. It's hoofed downfield as far as Bordenelli, who wins it for Agumbi. It's one-way traffic. The game's been played in one half. And all Flora can keep doing is just clearing it to the halfway line. Fofana with a run forward. Great ball to Rashford. I think that might get ruled out. It was very close. But lovely to see Fofana building confidence and stepping into the middle again. 2-0 Manchester United. Or is it? Goal disallowed. It remains 1. Well, this is a bit of a letdown, isn't it? I've finally come back to show you a Europa Conference game, and with half an hour gone, it's only 1-0 as Voloshin works down the left. Got 3 or 4 in the middle. Can we open them up? Robbie Thompson's in. Heads over the bar. Maybe this is just a little bit of complacency. Not having that challenge. I mean, it's still completely one-sided. But we've not really got that cutting edge. As Voloshin down the left wing. I think we are missing Tazolis as well, who's brilliant in these games normally. Hopefully he can do that in the Prem. As Voloshin. Back to Agumbi. Out wide to Timur Erdogan. Chance to cross. Instead plays Agumbi again. Back to Erdogan. To the back post. It beats everyone. Frimpong will get there. To Jaloka. He's got time. Not really got much pressure on him. They're just defending their box. Frimpong delivers though. Robbie Thompson in. And that one maybe did just creep under the keeper's arms. Probably should have saved it. But he can't take the fault today. It's 2-0. And Robbie Thompson has doubled the lead. Well, 1 minute to half time. We're back with Jaloka just inside the final third. I know it's only 2-0, but we've still had 24 shots. It's been a very similar pattern, just without the cutting edge. As Erdogan crosses, Thompson heads just over, and it will remain 2 at the break. That's a good effort from our visitors. And in the second half, we might have to be a bit more aggressive. We're going to tell the lads to keep it up. They've done pretty well in truth. So they're going to prove a point. They want to prove that they are Premier League players. They want to get into that team. With a free kick from 30 yards, this is another good chance to score. Who will take it? Marcus Rashford, right-footed, round the wall, and in it goes. He missed the penalty earlier, but he scores the free kick. And immediately into the second half, it's 3-0 to Manchester United. As we're back 5 minutes later with another throw down the left, Erdogan into Agumbi, and now Rayan Cherki, who's had a fairly quiet game today. Frimpong shot's blocked. Agumbi gets it wide to him again though, can cross this time. Does just that, deflects to Robbie Thompson. This is where the teams are starting to tire. 4-0, we've doubled our lead in the first 6 minutes of the half. And this could start to get a bit ugly now. We've seen it once or twice already. Well, we're about to reach the hour mark. I'm just getting ready to make changes because we can bring the 2 youngsters on in this game. They deserve the chance as Frimpong comes down the right again. Got support from Robbie Thompson, who's been absolutely brilliant. Up to Jaloka. Crosses in. Voloshin taps in. I was about to take him off, and I still will. But he's given us a headache there because his rating is about to go through the roof. I think the plan is Fofana, Voloshin and Jaloka will be the 3 off. We'll just see this free kick first. Can Rashford score another? The wall does not look well placed there at all. Oh, and it's just wide of the post. 5-0 it stays. Let's make the changes. Back in a moment. Right, 3 changes made. The next shot will be our 40th of the match. It's been that dominant. Sancho has come on to get some football, hopefully boost his confidence a bit. And then the 2 youngsters, Diallo and McIntyre as well, as Robbie Thompson to the byline. Frimpong delivers. McIntyre flicks down for Rashford. I think it was offside. It's a shame because it would have been a McIntyre assist. But I don't think it's going to be. VAR will probably rule this out again. The referee is checking. We wait. The goal's awarded. McIntyre does have an instant assist. Well, we mentioned Rashford. Hat-tricks all around this competition so far, as it's on the right-hand side for Flora. I'd argue, actually, the Beitar Jerusalem side we faced, probably stronger than 2 of the teams in this group, as Diallo gets the ball to Bordinelli. I've checked he is right-footed. I've been wrong all along, as Timur Erdogan finds Sancho. Big switch of play. Robbie Thompson's in. Rashford's in the middle. Delivers towards him. Great save again. He's not done himself any harm at all today, this keeper. It might be 6, but he's putting in a wonderful effort. As Sancho crosses to the back post. Bordinelli back in. Away again by the goalkeeper. McIntyre picks it up to Bordinelli. How did McIntyre get the number 10 shirt as well? Not quite sure about that. But 15 to go. 48 shots. 22 on target. And we're 6-0 up. But our expected goals is higher. They reckon we should have had 7. As it's a Sancho corner. Can we make that happen? At the back post, Bordinelli hits the bar. It bounces off the bar twice and goes out for a goal kick. That might well defy the laws of physics, but it remains 6 and Cavilla's got the goal kick. The Flora side really trying to hang on and keep the score down, but Timur Erdogan pours forward again. He's got no pressure on him. There's tired legs in there. Shirky's made the run off the defence. Across to Robbie Thompson. 7-0. The late goals are flowing. We used to do it a lot with Palace. But at this level, there's no competition for fitness. 54 shots done in the 88th minute. I think this might be a record, even for the other Europa games. 54 shots is ridiculous. And it could be one of our smallest wins, as Diallo finds a Gumby. All the way back to Dalberg. Out to Timur Erdogan. Almost feels like managing in the Welsh Premier League again, with Bangor City in last year's Build a Nation. As Erdogan finds Sancho. Big switch of play to Robbie Thompson. He gets towards the byline. Wouldn't mind a Sancho goal. He needs one, really. And it's cut back to Frimpong. Inside to McIntyre. Look very comfortable there. To Agumbi. Good save, keeper again. 1 minute to go. Can they hold on at 7? Or will there be more goals to follow? It's a right-footed outswinger from Sancho. To the back post it goes. Well headed away. Diallo will chase it. Loses out in the 50-50. Flora can bring it away. Can they get a consolation? They work down the right. Go back inside to Tam, but it just peters out. 2 minutes of stoppage time played. 56 shots for Manchester United. A new record, but only 7-0. I did tell you it'd be comfortable. Now let's go and have the real challenge of the episode. Crystal Palace, our side from last season. The reason that United are in this competition. The job we did there, a lot of familiar faces. Let's go and meet them, get into the game. Back for the big reunion then. This is the game. If we lose it, it starts to look a very close top 3 again. And Crystal Palace will be back in the mix. I'm not sure what they did at the end of the transfer window, apart from losing Teo, because we saw him when we played against City. They also sold Abdul Qadir and Brian Mbeumo. And they signed Viktor Siganov. What a legend. Former FM star, but they're still signing their over 30s, aren't they? 35-year-old Ferland Mendy at left back. And Matteo Cancellieri, a 28-year-old winger and midfielder and striker. So not really signing the youngsters. They're still going a little bit more experienced. Let's see how they get on against us today. A full 11 is going to be changed, I'm pretty sure of that. We'll be back in a minute to run through our chosen 11. Okay then, a full 11 changed from Thursday night's game. Bassone probably playing his last game as first choice centre-half. Fofana, long as he's alright after the international break, will be back as first choice. Hannibal, I've got to make a decision on in the middle, but I don't know who the best replacement is until Jalocca's trained. And to Zolis getting a goal on the left wing after Sancho's poor form in recent weeks. All of that means it's Meslier in goal, Gaia and Pavati the fullbacks with Inacio and Bassone centre-half, and Ponza and Hannibal in the middle, Yakubu to Zolis and Fernandes the midfield 3, with Kylian Mbappe up front on his own. Still only 7 goals this season, they're being shared out a bit. Of course, another option is to move him to the left, maybe put someone else on the right, and then put maybe Yakubu up front. But for now, I feel like this could be our best 11, and to Zolis, really improving. So into the game we go, reunion of sorts. Let's see who's in that Palace team. Of course, you've got to be fair to Palace. They've managed to hang on to the likes of Tipple and Campbell up top, the likes of Lannes and Boyer in the middle. Now, unless someone's playing out of position, that's a very different shape to normal. Are they playing 4-4-2? They've got a very old back four, maybe even older by the new left back. Lots of quality on the bench. I think they might be playing a flat 4-4-2, which is baffling if they are, and will absolutely batter them. But let's see how we get on. Manchester United v Crystal Palace. This season's club v last season's. Can we this time get out on top against a side we achieved so much with? Well, not the best start, it's got to be said. We've got 13 minutes on the clock and we've barely had a kick, and we give the ball away high up the pitch, but Inacio does well. In comes Mbappe, who carries it away. He'll love this day against a really ageing defence. In fact, it should suit our attackers down to the ground. Jakubu put that one over the bar. 14 gone, Lenormand's off injured, and that's not going to help them at all as Bassone heads away to Hannibal. Over halfway he comes to Zolis. Real chance to stake his claim now for the next few years as Fernandes, in behind, forced out wide to the left to Hannibal. Got support, but goes all the way back to Gaia. The right back has space to run into. Finds Amponza. Back to Gaia again, who gets to the byline. Chance to cross. 3 in the middle to Zolis is 1. It's off the line, and Lozny, who came off the bench for that injury, has managed to hack it away. United dominant, definitely the better side. And the shape that Palace are employing just isn't working. As we've got a corner kick, half an hour on the clock. I say that, they've still managed to hold out here. Though that might be a penalty kick. We're going to VAR. Yakubu claims to have been fouled, and he's 6'6". He is the big threat. It wouldn't surprise me. The penalty is given, and we get to see another Bruno Fernandes pen. He's not missed one yet this season, but I'm sure the time will come. That time, though, is not today. We take the lead against our former club. We've got to prove it's the right decision. And more than that, we're massive favourites in the title race if we keep beating these good sides. 1-0 United, the 4-4-2. Palace aren't really having a sniff with it. And I'm just thinking as we reach half-time, maybe this is why United struggled last year. We did notice that Barbarea, who's now left the club, they didn't have many great centre midfielders. And is that because they were playing 4-4-2, and that's why Rashford and Mbappe, Yakubu are still there, why there's so many wingers at the club? Maybe they were playing a 4-4-2 and just getting caught out in the middle. I'd argue Selly and Boy are still better than what we've got in there. But the rest of our team is trumping theirs as Grabara goes for the big kick downfield. Gaia heads away to Amponza. Feels weird seeing so many of these players on the opposition team. Thankfully though, we've managed to keep Tipple and Tyrese Campbell quiet as Gaia gets in down the right. Yakubu to Kylian Mbappe. And that's the beauty when it's a 4-4-2. There's so much space for runners. And with 25 to go, we'll think about changes. Tazolis actually been awful on the left wing, which is ironic considering we've made a space for him. So Sancho will come on, or yeah, we'll go for Sancho. I know Rashford should, but we're going to go Sancho first. Bruno Fernandes will get a rest. Jalocca will probably come on for him. And then in central midfield, we're going to take off Hannibal. In fact, we're not. We're going to bring on Wesley Fofana for Jesus Bissone. He's on a yellow card. It is our first choice back four when Fofana comes in. And the more little bits of fitness we can build him up with, the better. Our expected goals over 3, but we've only scored 2. Lojny heads away again. He's becoming a world-class star at Palace. Our Hannibal recycles it on the left to Pavati. How seamlessly have him and Bissone fitted into this team as well. Meslier gets it all the way back in our own half. Goes for the big punt over. Jalocca can flick on. Mepham heads away well. Tipple now out on the right wing. Somewhere I don't think he can even play. It's a baffling tactic that Crystal Palace are playing. You can just see they've got no out in a 4-4-2. As Lojny goes back to Grabara. Big kick downfield for Fofana with a powering header. Up to Jalocca. Through to Mbappe. Might have been offside. Doesn't matter. Puts it wide again. He's just not got that ruthless streak this season. But this has arguably been one of our most comfortable games of the season, and that's a real surprise with the side we're up against. Inacio's caught offside as he heads a free kick into Grabara's arms. But with 10 to go, it's another good day at the office, and it looks like we're going to stay 5 points clear. Liverpool and Spurs both dropping points as it stands. And that's got to be a worry, because these sides at the top, I know it's a bit different to last year, they're running away with it more, but they're not really keeping up consistently. So let's go and see what the league table's like and pick out when we're next going to be back. Well, fun fact as we came back with the right timing as well. We've got 2 of the best 10 players in the world apparently, and that is thanks to our director of football on deadline day. Pavate rated world's 6th best player, and Mbappe 2nd behind Haaland. But when you see Chelsea have got 2, City have got 2, it might not matter that we've got a 5-point lead at the top. It's early in the season. Chelsea's only defeat has come to us. City's draws have come against us and Palace. There's plenty of ups and downs left in this title race yet. We'll see how that pans out as the season goes on, but a top 3 finish looks all but certain now. Let's have a look at the schedule though for when we're next going to be back. I want to get through the rest of the Europa Conference group. We haven't really got many massive games. I'm looking at mid-December and thinking Spurs have got Calantari, West Ham are fighting up near the top of the league. We're definitely going to show Arsenal or City on deadline day. So we'll come back at some point between mid and late December, depending on how things are going. We might even show the cup tie just for a bit of fun. But if you did enjoy this episode, seeing us back against our former club Crystal Palace, some of those old stars that have made us the manager we are, and of course some of our youngsters here against Flora in the Europa Conference, please do put a thumbs up on it. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content from 2 long-term stories. You can find links in the eye above to the Twitch channel, the football podcast, the Hemel save, and the latest review, the 92 as well. And that will be above my head any minute now. So please do check it out if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time, and fingers crossed we stay unbeaten.